I've spoken from a lot of different settings and a lot of different podiums, but I've never had a booster seat be my podium here. I just want to see how Channel 10 is going to use this, you know. Warner needs booster seat to try to make pitch to ladies. I don't know what it is. First of all, it is wonderful to see you all here. I apologize about being a little bit late. I was flying in, and you know, that weather today is kind of a mess, and they flew us around and around and around. But to see this crowd, particularly, of course, I know you see a few men here, but I love the bumper strip. Where's the bumper strip? Mike, pass that on. In more ways than one, this is the symbol. Democratic women are the life of the party. And I appreciate you all coming out today. I know this is your regular meeting, and I know that we have some members. You know, we have young members, we have members who are, you're thinking, how's he going to get out of this, right? How can he be politically correct? Well, let me assure you, we range from young being in the young 20s to young being 96 years old, my understanding, over here with Virginia, right? Yeah, so I particularly appreciate Virginia being here, and Virginia, whatever you're taking, please, I'd like to start taking it right now, because I hope to still be here when I'm 96 at a Democratic function. I'm here for a couple special reasons. One, because if you're in Roanoke, you got to come to the Roanoker for lunch, right? If you're not going to get hot dogs downtown, you got to come here for lunch. But second, you know, it's always, in Virginia, there's no rest for the weary. We always have elections. And we have elections again this year, in terms of our constitutional officers, in terms of our boards of supervisors. And I love the little button back there, Charlotte's mama, back on, and I imagine that Charlotte Moore's mama. So I am grateful to see that, but I'm also here, particularly with the TV cameras rolling, to talk about my friend Dr. Mike Breiner. You know, we have a very, very important election in, 11 days. 11 days. Are you down to the hours yet?
But who's counting?
But who's counting? We have a chance here in the Roanoke Valley to decide whether you will send to Richmond somebody who's a pragmatic problem solver, somebody who can work with both Democrats and Republicans, because when after the election and all the hoopla, it's then down to governing. And what we need in Richmond, as somebody I know who was governor myself, you need people who will come and work in goodwill with both political parties to get Virginia's problem solved. In Mike Breiner, we've got someone who's had a career as a physician, and wouldn't it be great, as we think about the issues of children's health, as we think about the rising costs of drugs, as we think about the fact that we've got 1 million Virginians without health care, to actually have someone in Richmond who had a medical background, who understands what it's needed to make sure that Virginia ought to be at the lead in the nation in terms of providing health care. I particularly think as we think about some of our seniors, as folks get to that stage in life after they've worked hard and raised their family, they shouldn't have to worry about how they're going to be able to afford health care, to see the doctor, to be able to get to the doctor, to pay for their prescriptions and drugs. And right now we have too many Virginians who make the choice between whether they buy food or whether they can afford their medicine. And in a state like Virginia, that's just not right. And if we send Mike Breiner to the state Senate, I know that he will make Virginia a leader in terms of health care reform. That's one important issue. Another important issue for this region is education and jobs. Because one of our challenges, particularly here in the Roanoke Valley, is to make sure that our young people don't pick up and move away to Richmond or Northern Virginia. And part of the challenge is to make sure that we continue to attract world-class jobs to this community. Now that's going to take, again, someone who knows what it takes to grow businesses, to create businesses, that knows that if we're going to create 21st century jobs in this region, we've got to have a world-class education system. And somebody with Mike's background and focus on education, I know he'll bring that approach as well. Now, I know we've seen some comments recently about some of the other issues that are coming up. One of the issues that, quite honestly, hadn't been talked about too much before, but I think people are growing so frustrated with right now, is the whole question of illegal immigration. In many ways, this is the job that should be done by the federal government, but the federal government hadn't done its job. We end up finding people who are illegally here in this country, and we turn them over to the federal government. The federal government doesn't do anything. So what we need at the state level is we need people who understand, one, to put pressure on folks at the federal level so that the federal government enforces our border security. Two, that when folks go out and hire folks who are here illegally, there's penalties put not only on the illegal people, but the employers who hire them illegal. I mean, the law, what's good in terms of the law is everybody's got to follow the law. And again, with Mike Breiner, we'll have someone who will go to Richmond and be tough, but also understand that grappling with the challenge of illegal immigration is an issue that has to be dealt with at the state level, but also the federal level.